Let's start. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today for our behind the scenes episode on Baja California. So it's an incredible pleasure to introduce our speaker today, Dr. José Sarica, who is a director of expedition experience at PONANT. So José holds a Ph.D. in marine biology from the University of Montreal and began his career with PONANT back in 2009 as a naturalist expert. So since then, he has taken on a series of strategic leadership roles, from expedition leader to director of expeditions. And today he is the driving force behind the vision, design, and delivery of PONANT's global expedition program. We actually just chatted about all sorts of exciting trips he was on and is going to in the next couple of months, bringing new destinations to PONANT. So we are really fortunate to have him here with us and to share his insights into Baja California, which is one of the world's great marine wildernesses, and I have to confess, probably one of my favorite expedition cruise destinations as well. And to explore what makes this region so exceptional for small ship expeditions. I know José will start with a short presentation, but welcome. I'm very pleased to have you today with us.
Thank you very much, Agvila. I think nobody explained my life better than you in in a short time. I'm very impressed, definitely impressed. So good afternoon, everyone. I cannot see all of you because I have just one screen, and the other one is dedicated for the presentation I would like to give to you, just to, I think, to talk about Baja California. I can tell you the story. I can give you the images, but the picture that you will see will help me to tell you that Baja California is definitely the best place to go. And I agree with you, Agila. I travel all around the world, and from polar region to tropical regions, where whales and other wildlife, marine wildlife was incredible. But in Baja California, my dream was completely realized, and I never expected that this nature was so powerful in this place. So I would just come back, if you allow me, on who I am. Since I am a child, I have a dream. I saw a movie on the TV called Orca. It was with the fantastic actress called Charlotte Rampling. And I remember that I didn't fall in love with her, but I fall in love with orcas. And I told to my parents at this time, when I was 6 years old, one day I will work with orcas. It was just so clear in my mind that I follow my dream, and that I went to the university. I left France to go to Canada to study marine mammals in the St. Lawrence River, to study beluga, to study orcas. And then after my PhD, I was the professor at the University of Montreal, and I was far from my dream because there is no marine mammal in the in the university. A lot of students, very lovely students, but not my passion. And this child dream was so important that I decided to start to explore the regions where they were, like Antarctica and polar region. And I started with PONANT as a naturalist, as you said. And since 15 years now, I am still working for PONANT, but at a different level. And today I am creating new itineraries for PONANT, more, we can say expedition, but today I would prefer the word exploration, because expedition at the beginning means that you can be completely independent. You can work with your own zodiac, with your own naturalist team, disembark where you want. But today, as soon as you are going everywhere in the world, except in Antarctica, you have to work with local communities, you have to work with local DMC. So we have to co-build an experience with them. This is why, for me, as soon as we use zodiacs, local guides, local boat, it's more an exploration one, because expedition means only PONANT, but no, this is not possible today. I think the local communities are the key today for our future voyages on an expedition mode. So this picture was taken in Baja California, and I think it was maybe the most incredible encounter I've done in my life. I dreamt that since years years ago when I started with PONANT in 2009. I said, why we don't develop Baja California itinerary? This is such amazing place. And we went in October because you have to position the ship from the Arctic to Antarctica, and we crossed to Baja California in October, but it was the low season with no whales because all the gray whales are coming from January to end of March. So I always miss them. And I say, oh my God, I for a well addict, because I am a well addict, I really need and I really wanted to find the best place where we can offer the best experience with the encounter of gray whales. Because you have to know that the gray whales spend all the summer in Bering Straits where they are feeding for months and months. And when they are ready, they come back to the lagoon of Baja California only. And you have three lagunas where your three lagoons where the gray whales are going to give birth, and one is very famous, but nobody are going into this place. So this maybe this new spot I scouted that I am really proud of because we will be the first to go to this place, and it's called Guerrero Negro. I will come back at the end to show you the final itinerary. So when you go and you leave to a scouting, you have to work a lot before just to see what are the places to go, where other competitors are going, and how can we our opponent can be different from other competitors to have a differentiation in the product and to share our DNA, our work with the local community. And Baja California impressed me a lot, and this picture is really representative because we have to understand that Baja California, definitely nature is our guide in Baja California. If you go to Baja California, you have to understand that you will be so humble because every day nature will surprise you. It's so powerful. And these local communities understand and understood that it was the only key to be to develop ecotourism, to protect this pristine environment. So in 1970, before in 1980, it was a big catastrophe, in a big disaster in Baja California because there were a lot of overfishing place. It was not only from Mexican, but from Chinese. So all the resources were almost finished. So all the local communities stopped to fish and say, okay, we have to create natural reserve. We have to protect our own environment and to develop ecotourism. And this is why Baja California is complicated to operate it because you have to work all the time with local communities, pay fees, be sure that you have all the permits, all to respect all the guidelines. So this is why it's so important to go for a scouting and to meet all of them, to explain that our goal is just to leave our footprint in the sand. That's all. We take nothing, we just take pictures, and what we would like is to help them to help this amazing environment. So as soon as you are going there, you pay fees, you pay the local fishermen because they are now all local guides, they are all scuba divers guides, you can snorkel with them. So you give benefits to all the communities, but these benefits are linked to the environment. So it's a very virtuous buckle, may I say. So this is why it's so important. So as I said, when we are going to this place, this man that you can see with me is the first man who has the ID in 1980 in Cabo Pulmo. Cabo Pulmo is called the aquarium of the world after our French French explorer Jean-Jacques Cousteau, and he said that it was the best aquarium in the world. But this guy was young when he decided to stop to fish, and he said, okay, the community need to change their behavior, and we need to stop to fish, and we need to be man who will help the nature to be preserved and to be protected. So this guy was, I was very impressed by him because I knew that he started all the process. And today, where you are going in Baja California, all the communities are towards to the ecotourism. The nature is a priority, and this is why I love this place so much. And the nature gave it back to us with so much gratitude. So when I started with my plan, But of course, what is great when you do escorting is that every day you see something that you can never imagine. Even pelicans, when they are fishing and when you are on a small boat, they are fishing like a bumping in the water, you have the feeling that it's crazy. I never can explain that, but every day nature surprised me for many, many reasons. So I started first because Baja California is very well known to give the opportunity to the guests to swim by snorkeling or with scuba diving with the sea lions, the Californian sea lions. They are very curious. They are coming to you very close. They are very playful, and they are looking at you eyes to eyes. And the eye bonding is very incredible that you can never forget it. I have also the chance to see a lot of mobula rays. You know, they are going and they jump out of the water. So even this show is amazing because there are thousands of them everywhere. And here is a small video. I know that it doesn't work very well with Zoom. I can just to give you an idea. So as you can see, it's just spectacular. And what was incredible too, it was to discover new places. Here you are in Isla Carmen, and the weather was bad, so we were not able to go to the north part, which is very famous in other itineraries. But the south is unexplored, and we disembarked on a small beach, and we were able to do a hike and see a lot of kayak. So we decided, okay, we can develop kayak too. So we will have kayak on board our ship, because here you have all the bottlenose dolphins coming to along the zodiacs, because it's not 5 dolphins, but sometimes it's thousands of them. And just to give you an idea, I spent 1 hour with 50 dolphins who change their place and look at you in the eyes this way. So every day it was, I was feeling so grateful to say thank you God, because it gave me a lot of energy. It was an exhausting work because we traveled north to south, and for 1 month we spent 8 hours per day on the water. But at the end, you are so humble. And this is just a picture with the dolphin when you are able to swim with them. And finally, the experience I would like to share with you, this is definitely the Grey Whale experience, because what I wanted was to offer the best lagoon to the guests. We have Bahia Magdalena, we have San Ignacio. And when you talk to the local, they said, you know, Jose, there is a place, but nobody go to this place because Guerrero Negro is too north. It's far from uh, any infrastructure. You need 8 hours driving from the north to reach this place, no airlift. So at least you have 10 hours driving in the middle of the desert with no networks. I say, this is the place I really want to go, because Baja California, because Guerrero Negro is surrounded by the biggest salt mines in North America. So all the salt is going to the water. And so the density of the water is higher than the other lagoon. So what happened when the whale is coming and she's pregnant, she has to give birth. She go to this first laguna because it's the first one she will encounter. And in this laguna, due to the salt, when the baby comes, he goes straight to the surface. She don't need to find him because sometimes you have a lot of baby who can die to be drowned because the mother has no time to find him. But at Guerrero Negro, you have 100% of baby who survived after a birth. So all the whales are concentrated to 300 whales, and 21% of them are called friendly. It means that they want to create a bond with you. And I was skeptical. I said, okay, I swam with humpback whale, but they don't want, you can put your hand this way, they will never approach, they will escape. So I said, how is it possible that a whale wanted to be touched after all the damage we create to them? So I went on an excursion, and so we had what's spectacular in Baja California. This is not a place where they feed. It's a the breeding season. So you have spectacular demonstration of male, the one who jumped the higher. You have a competition between males. So it's not like in Antarctica or in the polar region when they are feeding. So it's great because you have another behavior. But the breeding season is the best season ever for the marine wildlife because they have to impress the female. So they have to breach many times. They have to use the flipper to slap the so it's just spectacular. You can spend hours to observe them. It's amazing. And in Baja Magdalena, you have also sometimes some beauties, and I fall in love with the sand dunes. It's just on the Magdalena Island, and nobody go to this place. So I said, I can offer the whale watching for half of the guests, and when half of the guests are going to Baja Magdalena, they can also, for the half other packs, going ashore to do hikes for the time they want, because it's very, very long distance sand dunes. And in the afternoon, we will swap. So we imagine different activities, hikes, swimming, for depending of the level of the activity that the guests want. It's for everyone. You have sometimes hikes in the canyon. We have also scuba diving, as I said before, but also we can climb a volcano. So as you can see, we have different level of hikes. So this is how we differentiate our product to the other one. We are going to the place where nobody are going, Guerrero Negro, and I will show you at Guerrero Negro what happened. So at Guerrero Negro, as I told you, there is 200 and sometimes 300 gray whales in the same very small lagoon. But the lagoon is very south, and it's possible for the ship to enter inside the lagoon because there is a lot of bank of sand. So to avoid to be stranded, we need to be outside of the laguna. So I try to configure, like, how can we have to come here? And we finally find a port at 150 kilometers away. So I say, okay, we will take the minivan or the minibus available, because 1 hour and 30 minutes driving for this experience is nothing, because after that your feet don't touch the ground. When the gray whale come to you, and at the beginning they establish eye contact, and because the water is very clear, so it's 5 meters depth, but you can see clearly the eyes of the whale looking at you, and the time stops. But suddenly she comes at the surface, you just leave your hand this way. Some of them are living, we call them the teasing whale, because they just tease you, but they don't want to be touched. Okay, it's fair enough. But some of them definitely choose the people who want to be, they choose. We cannot explain what happened. But I was so lucky because this video was taken for the first encounter.
Awesome, guys! Awesome!
I take up pictures, but I cried. At the end, I cannot. Yeah. It was, so I would like to show you the teaser, but it's not possible. So just to give you that, after the end of the scouting review, all the itinerary, we decided to not offer international itinerary, because at the beginning, the plan was to leave from San Diego to go to, San Francisco to La Paz. But for all the markets, the airport was not the best. Cabo San Lucas is the best one because you have direct connection for European people from Mexico, and for the US market, direct flight for 5 different hubs in America. So this is the final itinerary with overnight at Loreto, overnight at La Paz. You can swim with whale shark if there is some whale shark. I don't show everything. So this is here on the map, the itinerary we'll do. So from Pacific side and from inside the Cortez Sea. And to tell you how the success was, so as soon as I did my first webinar in French for the people in April 2025, in 3 weeks, we fill all the departures. It was the big commercial success that we ever experienced. So for this reason, we added one, and this is one is the plus one more voyage, and it will start the 12th of March 27, and the first one will start the 31st of March of 27. So this is the end of this small presentation. I give you here the link. You can take picture if you want, because this is a documentary that I have done with a professional of the scouting. It is in French, but with English subtitles. So it will be more understand. Okay, you will understand better with the subtitles. That is my Franglish, but you can see that it's great because everything was recording um, on the tea time. So when you see me observing the well and when I'm crying, it's just because it was so powerful, so emotional. So I think this documentary will give you goosebumps, because I think it's a good summary of what I experienced for 1 month in Baja California. So thank you. So this is what just a small presentation. So I am ready for your question. I hope I
brilliant.
was clear enough.
Yeah, absolutely. It's brilliant, Jose. And I very much would like to echo what Jose was just saying about the documentary. It is an incredible 36-minute video that traces Jose's trip and includes some interviews with the locals and really paints the picture of the destination. And I have to confess, I've been to Baja California twice. My first trip was like you. I joined an expedition leader for a scouting trip. So I suppose I experienced some similar things to you, including swimming with the dolphins. And I do think that Sea of Cortez is incredible place. I haven't been lucky enough to visit the Pacific side, so maybe let's talk a little bit about the itineraries. And I know they will be in January and February, so this is the perfect time for the gray whale migration, and I assume that's why you're doing quite a lot in the Pacific coast. So for the travel advisors, before we go and talk about other exciting places, and for travel advisors who are expecting or will be selling these trips, and when the guests ask about what kind of water temperature they can expect, and sort of like what is the weather like, what is
It's
experience?
around it's around 20 degrees Celsius.
Okay.
I have not the conversion in Fahrenheit.
Yeah,
So 20
I think
degrees
it's like
Celsius,
60, 70, something like that. Because I just came back from
yeah.
Galapagos, where temperature is similar. So
And you have to keep in mind that for all the activities, if you want to snorkel with dolphins or snorkel with sea lions and sometimes with whales, you will have a wetsuit. We will deliver a wetsuit, 5 mm thick, for everyone, for all the people who want to experience snorkel before the activity. And at the end of the activity, the wetsuit will be given back to the local DMC. And then it's not your business. You don't have to clean it. You don't have to store it in your room. It's taken back after the excursion.
Brilliant. And I think you gave a very good overview of what the experience is going to be like. But for somebody who is quite new to the region, like doesn't really know much about Baja California. So how much, and of course, it's also a place where you have local communities. So how much of the entire experience is going to be wildlife experiences, and whether it's going to be an element of engaging with the local communities as well? Because some
I
people
would say half,
super, yeah.
half of the itinerary. We have you have to. I will say all port of call we will do during this trip. For sure, will include all the local communities, because we cannot operate it without them. So in fact, indeed, you're right, at Guerrero Negro, Bahia Magdalena, Cabo Pulmo, Isla Carmen, and Coronado, we will work directly with activity nature-oriented, swimming, hikes, walk in the canyon. But we will meet the local community at Loreto, at La Paz, at Cabo Pulmo, and we will take time to discuss with them, because what I would like it was to try a well balance of nature-oriented activities and also to share the life of the locals. And I think Loreto is the best place, because it's a very small city and they have a national park, and And so we will spend all the afternoon and all the night. We spend one overnight there for people to feel the atmosphere and to talk to them and to feel. And I think, when I went to Baja California, I spent much of the time on the water, and I'd say where I am not in Mexico because I met nobody. But as soon as you arrive in Loreto and in La Paz, you feel that you are in Mexico, in Mexico country, and it gives a different flavor. And we try to find a well balance between human and wildlife experience.
Will you include any local delicacies tastings? Because I know that the ceviche and
Yes,
tacos,
yes.
it's
We
a
will.
brilliant place for that as well.
Yes. We will. We have two ways for that. First, because we will have overnight, people can go to the restaurant because we will put some shuttle at Pichilingüe to go to La Paz and to spend the night, and if they want to taste the specialty. But on board, we have executive chief, and they like to buy local food and to put the destination on board too. So we will have local guides from Baja California on board, a naturalist team, lecturers, and people who will buy local food to do special dishes from Baja California to put the destination on board the ship. It's really important that everything, all our senses are impacted by Baja California.
Brilliant. And so one of the things I remember from my personal trips when I was in the Sea of Cortez is that one thing I didn't know, it's very often compared to the region itself, to the Galapagos of the Central America, because you have blue-footed boobies, you have California sea lions that are very closely related to the ones you will see in Galapagos. And actually one thing that probably few people know, but it's an incredible destination for bird watchers as well. I think you mentioned the brown pelicans, which I think is 50% of the entire population of brown pelicans lives in the area. But you also have some endemic gulls, and it's very highly endemic place. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's correct. It's correct. And I was for the pelicans. I tell you, it looks for me like very a dinosaur bird because when you look at them and they are big and they're quite impressive. But what I did never expected, it was when they catch their food. When it's one pelican, you hear a sound, but when you have hundreds of them fishing, it's like a sound that you cannot imagine, and you have you say, "Wow, my God, what I see is completely spectacular." Hopefully, they don't dive on me because I didn't put your hands like that. But it's like the boobies, as you said, the way they dive to catch the fish.
Yes.
But when it's a big bird like the brown pelican, it's wow.
It's a bit scary.
Impressive. Scary, impressive. Yeah.
Scary, impressive. Yeah, I just came back from Galapagos, so they have as well quite a few pelicans, and we actually saw in one of the islands in the evening actually when they started feeding. It can be very impressive when they're flying around. The other sort of things I wanted to ask you about the Sea of Cortez area, because I think Sea of Cortez is going to be probably a little bit more varied, would you say, in comparison to the Pacific coast? Because Pacific coast, I think, is a bit more about gray whales and sort of seeing big mammals.
In fact, we can split the itinerary into parts. First part dedicated to the encounters with gray whales, but also the possibility in Bahia Magdalena that you have here to have an amazing encounter, not only with gray whale, but with humpback whales, because there's a lot of humpback whale, and they are called the clown of the sea because they breach, it's incredible all the things they can do, and they like to play, they're very playful. But this is the place where you can also walk on the sand dunes that I actually like. You have to be in the middle of the desert, and the experience is very impressive. Then, in fact, as right, we will focus more on the Cortez Sea to meet the local population at Cabo Pulmo, at La Paz, at Loreto, But Isla Coronado, Ensenada, and even Los Islotes are very dedicated to swim with sea lions, dedicated to the hike, to go to climb a volcano, to do kayaking. So we will develop a lot of things in Cortese that you cannot develop from the Pacific side.
Brilliant. And what about the level of physical activity? And the other thing we should probably talk a little bit about. Mexico is home to rattlesnakes and stuff like that.
Yes, you
Yeah.
have to be very careful.
Yeah.
In fact, all the hike that you will offer will be escorted by local guides who know
Okay.
very well the place, and we will do small groups to avoid that people walk in line, to be sure that
Yeah.
we avoid any accidents, and they will be informed about the risk and the obligation to follow all the time the recommendation of the local guide. So we have an expedition team on board, and every night they will give a briefing to explain the level of the hike, what they need, the distance, the duration, if there is the possibility to encounter rattlesnakes and so on. So all the people will have the information, and they will choose the level of hikes they want. We have for different people contemplative walk. Sometimes it's just 100-200 meters, but on board walk where you have a lot of birds, so you can take time to observe birds and to do an ornithology walk. You have also the possibility for the one who really want to walk to go inside the canyon and to climb rocks, and it's not for everyone. So to respond to your question, not only for hikes but for many activities, we have activity for people who don't want to walk. If they don't want to stay on board the boat and to see well, if they want just to go in the town and to take time to go to a restaurant, this is for them. If you have people really want to walk, to be engaged, to swim, to walk, to I don't know, to climb, it is also for them. So we try to develop activities at different levels for different type of guests.
Brilliant. And I think there will be also a couple of sea days, especially at the beginning, right? When you are, especially if you're going the Pacific route and then coming back.
And
Yep.
and why we do that? Because during the day at sea, so it will allow people to just rest after a long trip if they don't stop before in Mexico. But this is the day where the expedition team will give the mandatory briefing. They will explain the guide of route conduct. Okay, please follow the guide. There is rattlesnakes, or to disembark by Zodiac, you have to disembark this way. This is the time for briefing, mandatory briefings, because it's an exploration cruise, but with an expedition team on board. So they have to give mandatory briefing, that the people engaged to follow all the recommendations, that they have to collect nothing. So we give the brief. So this is a day, very important day, and we always try to have the first day at sea to allow guests, because the ship is, I think I have picture at the end, I can show you. See. Right there, here. This is the ship, Le Jacques Cartier. And as you can see, there is I don't know if you can see. So this is time, because the destination is great, but it's good to have a day to just relax, enjoy the ship. Yes, and the ship is great because it's open to the sea, so you can enjoy. And even when you will leave from Cabo San Lucas, you will encounter a lot of humpback whales. So it will be not a classical day at sea where you will relax. Now you will have lectures. You will be introduced to the destination, to the local guides, and so on.
So talking about the lectures and the expedition team, how many expedition team members do you anticipate to have on these trips? And are you planning to have some specialists?
9.
Because okay.
Yeah. So we expect to have 9. The sizing will be 9 naturalists, including 4 local guides coming from Baja California with the mandatory certification to allow our Zodiacs to go to the water, but also to be allowed to conduct the hikes. We will have 2 lecturers who will be dedicated, who are generalists, to talk about the ecosystem of Baja California, the fauna, the flora. And every night, I think what is better than lectures is what we call the recap. The recap of the day, because it explains what people have seen during the day. And I realized when I was exhibition leader, people like to have a picture that they have taken, to have the explanation of their picture. It's great to see a whale, but when someone explains, okay, this behavior means that, and you have that on your picture, it goes inside your head forever. So every night, the expedition team will do a recap. We explain the activity for the day after tomorrow. So they will be with the guests every day during the activity. There will be escort. They will escort the local guides to be sure that everything is going okay. We have 4 departures. It's for French and English people, because everything we'll do in both languages. And all the activities will be if there is only French people or Spanish people speaking, some people on board, like naturally, we will translate Spanish to English or to French to English. And so this is this is still the beginning when I began in 2009 when I was young. Everything was done in 2 languages, and it's not a problem for us to manage French and English languages on board.
Brilliant. And what is an exciting thing or surprising thing about Baja California that you didn't know and you will be happy to include in the itineraries, if there is one?
Guerrero Negro.
Guerrero
Negro, because I think if one day people had the idea to create an airlift at Guerrero Negro, I think Bahia Magdalena and San Ignacio will be definitely escaped by all the people, because Guerrero Negro offer. I did three whale watching tours in Guerrero Negro, because the first one was so amazing. I said, okay, it's the lucky tour. You have just to test again and again to be sure that it was just one shot. But the 3 tours I have done was spectacular. So I said, but at Bahia Magdalena, humpback whale was crazy, but San Ignacio, a little bit deceptive, because few gray whales not interacting a lot with us. So Guerrero Negro, maybe this was the biggest challenge, because it's far. There is no infrastructure. We have to redesign all the things to be sure that everybody can enjoy this activity, and we succeed. So I'm very proud of that.
Brilliant. So Guerrero Negro is one of the 3 locations that you mentioned on the Pacific coast.
Here it's called Bahia Tortugas, because this is the place where guests will disembark, but they will have 1 hour 30 minutes by drive to reach Guerrero Negro. But this is on day 2 that they will experience the best gray whale encounters.
Oh, brilliant. And I mean, for me personally as well, this is just for the audience, what I understand about Baja California is that the geology as well is incredibly interesting. I know, you focus so much on the on things like gray whales, which is, charismatic fauna, and it's the kind of thing that sells the trip. But I think there's so much to Baja California, I believe it actually was, exactly. It used to be part of a Sonora Desert on the Mexican mainland. At some point, it separated. The Sea of Cortez is one of the deepest seas in the world. So you've got some big divers there, sperm whales, and so much life as well. I think we even saw the marlin jumping out of water.
You have orcas, you have blue whale, you have a lot. And as you said, the geology is fantastic. You have a lot of canyon. The rocks are red. A lot of cactus. It's incredible. So like the one you have behind you.
Yeah, that's actually a picture I took, I think, on San Francisquito Island in the Sea of Cortez. And so you're walking literally in the forest of cacti, and they are all sort of different shapes and so on. And it's quite interesting to understand the ecosystems and how little birds are feeding. It's just a fantastic place. And well, as you can see, I get very excited about Baja California, but I do think it's absolutely another exciting element of the trip. So I probably can guess your most memorable moment from the scouting trips, but what was it? Just
I see. I know. I will say again the same thing, but maybe the first, when I touched the well, the first time it happened, the woman was the woman who dedicated her life to this ecotourism and explained me that 30 years ago this gray whale attacked the local boat because they were protecting their baby. So it took a lot of time for the whales to be readapted with the human behavior. And she said sometimes some people are very lucky because they are able to touch the baby. So the whale, the mother, will push the baby at that time to the boat to just show to the baby, okay, this is the propeller, be careful. But she said before, sometimes we don't know why, but she allows some people to touch the baby. But believe me or not, but the whale I touched, then come back with the baby, and I was the first human to touch the baby. So I give him a name. I give a name to this whale, and I was, and even the woman said, "My God, just so you can never touch a baby of my life. This is maybe the most incredible moment I ever experienced."
And no, amazing. That's
Yeah.
absolutely astonishing. So before we sort of complete this conversation, I just wanted to invite people in the audience to ask any questions if you have about Baja California trips, or if there's anything you'd like to know. Actually, while I'm waiting for these questions to come up, especially for those who are based in UK. So I actually traveled as well via San Lucas, Cabo San Lucas, and there are great connections. I think I flew Air Mexico, so you fly to Mexico City and it's just another hour or so to get to Cabo San Lucas. It's a very surprising place to arrive to because Cabo San Lucas is a known place for young Americans to come and party. So it's very, when you arrive there, you're like a little bit shocked. It's like, how is this place going to be so nature based? But half an hour outside the Cabo San Lucas, the whole thing changes, and it's an incredible part of Mexico. So I don't know if anyone has any questions. Nikki said, "Wow, looks amazing." I think that was when a while ago when you were going through the presentation. But okay, well, if no one has any questions, I just wanted to ask you a couple sort of last things. What's next for you? Are there any exciting trips that you would like to share, or things you're working on?
Yeah, I came back 1 month ago from French Polynesia, where we decided to develop new voyages in some archipelagos that nobody knows in French Polynesia. When you go to French Polynesia, all the people are going to Tahiti, to Moorea, to Society Islands. And every time I heard, I went to French Polynesia, it was great, Tahiti, Bora Bora, but it's just a small part of French Polynesia. French Polynesia is 5 archipelagos: Austral Archipelagos, Tuamotu, Marquesas, Gambier, and Society Islands. So I went to the Austral Archipelago, which is the southern archipelago in French Polynesia, and I went to some remote Tuamotu, and we developed new discovery and expedition voyages in French Polynesia for 26, 27, so incredible one. And I will leave in January to Bahamas to develop also a new a way of exploration in this destination that Ponant has not yet in his destination.
I want your job. Sounds like a great job.
I like
anyway,
it.
I bet it's what keeps us motivated to come back again and again to what we do. José, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a great pleasure, and I do encourage everyone who joined us today and to have a look at that video. It's an amazing documentary, and it's just a fantastic part of the world. I cannot recommend it enough from my personal point of view, and I'm sure it became very obvious. José also loves it. So thank you once again, and thank you for joining. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.